pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it. Easy. All right, it's gonna work. It's great.
Meghan Markle's Instagram game just got completely exposed, and what we've uncovered is absolutely mind-blowing. While everyone's been watching her post those perfectly curated American Riviera orchard reels, thinking she's just sharing her authentic lifestyle brand journey, the truth behind her social media strategy is far more calculated and frankly desperate than anyone realized. Here's what's really happening behind those filtered food videos and aesthetic kitchen shots. Meghan isn't just randomly posting content hoping something sticks. No. What we're witnessing is a full-blown marketing manipulation campaign designed to trick you into believing she's finally found her authentic voice. But here's the kicker. Every single one of those seemingly spontaneous reels, every carefully placed flour sprinkle, every staged cooking moment is actually what industry insiders call user-generated content, or UGC for short. Except in Meghan's case, sources are whispering that UGC should stand for user-generated crap, because that's exactly what we're getting served on a silver platter. The woman who spent years crafting her image as this relatable, down-to-earth duchess has now hired Method Communications to basically manufacture authenticity for her. Think about how twisted that is for a second. You can't manufacture what's supposed to be genuine. You can't strategize your way into being real. But Meghan Markle is sure as hell trying, and royal watchers are starting to see right through the facade. What makes this even more shocking is that palace insiders are suggesting Meghan knows exactly how inauthentic she appears to the public. Word on the street is that she's fully aware that years of contradictions, half-truths, and calculated PR moves have completely destroyed her credibility. So now, in what can only be described as a last-ditch effort to salvage her public image, she's literally trying to buy back authenticity through manufactured content. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about posting pretty pictures of jam and cookies. Royal sources are claiming that every single piece of content we're seeing is part of a much larger strategy to rebuild her brand from the ground up. The problem is, when your foundation is built on years of public deception, no amount of perfectly staged cooking videos can fix that fundamental flaw. And the timing of this authenticity campaign couldn't be more suspicious. Just as her Hollywood ventures are struggling to gain traction, just as the Sussex brand continues to face criticism, suddenly Meghan discovers the power of authentic user-generated content. Coincidence? Royal watchers don't think so. But wait until you hear what royal insiders are really saying about this strategy. The rabbit hole goes so much deeper than anyone imagined. And what royal insiders are revealing about Method Communications' role in this authenticity charade will absolutely blow your mind. According to sources close to the Sussex camp, Meghan Markle has essentially handed over complete control of her Instagram strategy to this PR firm, and their game plan is more manipulative than you could ever imagine. Here's the thing about user-generated content that most people don't understand. When legitimate brands use UGC, they're showcasing real customers genuinely enjoying their products. Think happy families actually using a product, real testimonials, authentic experiences. But in Meghan's twisted version of this strategy, industry insiders claim she's basically creating fake authenticity by reposting content that makes it look like everyday people are organically falling in love with American Riviera orchard. The problem is, there are no real products to fall in love with. We're talking about jam that most people can't even buy, cookies that attracted actual insects, and wine that royal watchers suspect might be going bad before it even hits the market. So what exactly are these reels supposed to be showcasing? Sources suggest it's all about creating the illusion of demand and popularity where none actually exists. But here's where Method Communications' strategy gets really devious. Royal insiders are whispering that the constant stream of these seemingly random low-quality reels serves multiple purposes. First, it's supposed to make Meghan appear humble and relatable, like she's just grateful for any attention her brand receives. Second, it's designed to flood her Instagram feed with so much content that any negative stories or criticism get buried under an avalanche of seemingly positive posts. Palace sources claim that Meghan was specifically advised that this type of content would help her appear more genuine, because UGC is supposed to provide what marketing experts call an unfiltered look into the customer experience. The transparency factor was supposed to be her golden ticket back to public trust. But royal watchers are pointing out a massive flaw in this logic. You cannot manufacture transparency. You cannot strategize your way into being unfiltered. The very fact that this is a calculated campaign orchestrated by a high-end PR firm makes it the exact opposite of what UGC is supposed to represent. It's like hiring someone to help you be spontaneous. It defeats the entire purpose. Hollywood insiders are suggesting that Meghan's team is so desperate to rebuild her image that they're willing to try anything, even strategies that contradict the very authenticity they're trying to achieve. But the most shocking part? Sources claim Meghan genuinely believes this is working. The most devastating part of this entire Instagram authenticity campaign isn't just that it's fake, it's that Meghan Markle apparently genuinely believes it's actually working. Royal insiders are sharing some absolutely jaw-dropping details about how disconnected from reality this strategy has become, and the behind-the-scenes conversations are more shocking than anyone could have predicted. According to palace sources, Meghan has convinced herself that posting a few carefully curated reels here and there will somehow magically erase years of public deception and calculated manipulation. Think about the sheer audacity of that logic for a moment. We're talking about someone who has spent years crafting narratives, changing stories, and presenting different versions of herself depending on what served her interests at any given moment. And now she thinks a handful of aesthetic food videos will make everyone forget about the contradictions, the half-truths, and the carefully orchestrated PR campaigns. But royal watchers are pointing out something absolutely crucial that Meghan and her team seem to have completely overlooked. Authenticity isn't something you can just decide to be one day. It's built through consistent behavior, genuine interactions, and honest communication over time. You can't lie your way into the public consciousness for years and then suddenly flip a switch and expect everyone to believe you found your authentic voice. Hollywood insiders are whispering about how tone-deaf this entire approach really is. The woman who orchestrated that explosive Oprah interview, who has been caught in numerous contradictions about her royal experience, who has been accused of manipulating narratives for personal gain, now wants us to believe that she's just a humble entrepreneur sharing her genuine passion for lifestyle content. The disconnect between perception and reality is staggering. And speaking of reality, sources close to the situation claim that Meghan's recent podcast appearance was supposed to be part of this authenticity campaign. Remember that absolutely cringeworthy moment with the fake crying and the full body chills nonsense? Royal watchers are saying that was Meghan trying to showcase her vulnerable, authentic side. But what we actually witnessed was crying with no tears, manufactured emotion, and what appeared to be a carefully rehearsed performance designed to generate sympathy. The timing of that podcast disaster couldn't have been worse for her Instagram strategy. Just as she's flooding social media with content designed to make her appear genuine and relatable, she goes on a major platform and delivers what critics are calling one of the most inauthentic performances in recent memory. It's like she's sabotaging her own authenticity campaign with every public appearance. Palace insiders suggest that the fundamental flaw in this entire approach is that Meghan still doesn't understand that authenticity cannot be manufactured. You can't hire a PR firm to make you genuine. You can't strategize your way into being real. Every single piece of content that gets posted as part of a calculated campaign to appear authentic actually makes you appear more inauthentic by comparison. But the most shocking revelation from royal sources is that Meghan apparently believes the public is too naive to see through this strategy. Word on the street suggests she genuinely thinks people will forget years of contradictions because she posted some pretty pictures of cookies and jam. The delusion runs deeper than anyone imagined, and what happened next with that infamous bug video proves just how spectacularly this strategy is backfiring. What happened next absolutely epitomizes everything that's wrong with Meghan Markle's manufactured authenticity campaign. And when royal watchers saw that bug crawling through her supposedly perfect kitchen content, the symbolism was almost too perfect to believe. We're talking about an actual insect infiltrating her carefully curated American Riviera orchard video, and the way this whole disaster unfolded reveals just how unprepared Meghan's team really is for real-time social media management. Here's what actually went down, and trust me, the details are even more shocking than what initially made headlines. Sources close to the situation reveal that this wasn't just any random bug that happened to wander into frame. Royal watchers who analyze the footage are suggesting that the insect was actually attracted to those flour sprinkles that Meghan loves to scatter all over her baked goods. But here's the kicker. Those same flour sprinkles that are supposed to make her products look so artisanal and appealing are apparently creating the perfect environment for attracting all kinds of unwanted creatures. The symbolism here is absolutely mind-blowing when you think about it. Meghan's trying so desperately to create this perfect, authentic lifestyle brand image, but even the insects are rejecting what she's trying to serve. Industry insiders are whispering that this bug incident perfectly represents everything wrong with the American Riviera orchard brand. It looks pretty on the surface, but when you look closer, there are serious problems with the foundation. But what makes this situation even more embarrassing is how unprepared Meghan's team was to handle the fallout. Royal sources suggest that when the bug video first started circulating, there was complete panic behind the scenes. This wasn't supposed to happen. The carefully orchestrated authenticity campaign suddenly had a very real, very uncontrolled, authentic moment, and it was absolutely devastating to the image they were trying to create. Hollywood insiders are pointing out that any legitimate food brand would have immediately pulled the content, issued a statement about quality control, and implemented measures to prevent it from happening again. But what did Meghan's team do? According to sources, they initially tried to pretend it never happened. They left the video up hoping that people wouldn't notice or that it would somehow blow over without causing major damage to the brand. The amateur hour approach to crisis management here is staggering. We're talking about someone who claims to understand branding and marketing, but when faced with a genuine crisis, the response was essentially to stick their heads in the sand and hope for the best. Royal watchers are suggesting this reveals just how inexperienced Meghan really is when it comes to running a legitimate business. But the most shocking part of this entire bug debacle isn't even the insect itself. It's what happened when eagle-eyed observers started pointing out that this perfectly represents the quality control issues that have been plaguing American Riviera orchard from day one. Sources claim that this bug incident became a metaphor for everything that's wrong with Meghan's approach to business, from the manufacturing delays to the limited product availability to the complete disconnect between the aspirational marketing and the actual reality of what's being delivered. And just when you think this story couldn't get any more embarrassing, wait until you hear how the Sussex squad tried to cover it up. What the Sussex squad did next is so embarrassing and desperate that it actually makes Meghan's original bug problem look like a minor inconvenience. Royal watchers discovered something absolutely mind-blowing about how her most devoted fans tried to cover up this disaster, and the amateur damage control attempts are more cringeworthy than anyone could have imagined. Here's where this story takes a turn into complete comedy territory. Instead of just accepting that their idol had a genuine quality control issue and moving on, the Sussex squad decided to take matters into their own hands. Sources who monitor these fan sites discovered that dedicated Meghan supporters were literally editing the bug out of screenshots and reposts, thinking they could somehow rewrite history and pretend the insect infiltration never happened. But here's the absolutely hilarious part about their cover-up attempts. These fans, who are supposedly so devoted to Meghan that they spend their free time defending her online, are apparently terrible at basic photo editing. Royal watchers who examined their attempts at damage control found that you can still clearly see the bug in most of their edited versions. They just slapped some random text or stickers over the area where the insect was crawling, but they didn't even do it properly. The incompetence here is staggering when you really think about it. We're talking about people who are so desperate to protect Meghan's image that they're willing to engage in what essentially amounts to evidence tampering, but they're so bad at it that their cover-up attempts actually draw more attention to the original problem. It's like trying to hide a stain by putting a bright neon arrow pointing directly at it. Industry insiders are suggesting that this fan behavior actually makes the situation exponentially worse for Meghan's brand. When your supporters are so embarrassed by your content that they feel the need to edit it before sharing it, that sends a pretty clear message about the quality of what you're producing. If your own fans don't think your content is good enough to share as is, what does that say about your brand management? But the most shocking revelation from sources who track these fan communities is that this editing and cover-up behavior isn't isolated to just the bug incident. Royal watchers are discovering that Sussex squad members routinely edit, crop, and manipulate Meghan's content before sharing it because they're apparently aware that the original versions don't present her in the best light. Think about how devastating that is from a branding perspective. Your most devoted supporters, the people who should theoretically be sharing your content enthusiastically and authentically, are so aware of your image problems that they feel compelled to fix your content before promoting it. That's not fan support. That's damage control disguised as loyalty. Hollywood insiders are whispering that this level of fan intervention actually undermines everything Meghan's authenticity campaign is supposed to achieve. How can you claim to be genuine and real when even your biggest supporters don't think your unfiltered content is good enough to share? The entire foundation of the user-generated content strategy collapses when the content is being systematically altered by the people who are supposed to be generating authentic enthusiasm. Palace sources suggest that Meghan is completely unaware of how her fans' editing attempts are actually sabotaging her authenticity efforts. But what's even more shocking is how she's handling genuine audience engagement. The most damning evidence of Meghan Markle's complete failure to understand social media engagement is staring everyone right in the face, and what royal insiders are revealing about her comment strategy will absolutely shock you. We're talking about someone who claims to want authentic connection with her audience, but has systematically disabled the most basic feature of social media interaction, and the reasoning behind this decision exposes just how terrified she really is of genuine public feedback. Here's what makes this situation so incredibly hypocritical and revealing. Meghan Markle clearly knows how to engage on Instagram when it serves her purposes. Royal watchers discovered that she actively uses her personal Meghan account to respond to friends, thank people for birthday wishes, and interact with content from her inner circle. So this isn't about technical inability or not understanding how the platform works. This is a deliberate, calculated decision to avoid any genuine interaction with the public, who are supposed to be supporting her brand. But here's where the hypocrisy reaches absolutely staggering levels. Sources close to the situation reveal that Meghan's team talks constantly about building authentic connections and creating genuine community around American Riviera orchard. They want people to feel personally invested in her lifestyle brand, to see themselves as part of her journey, to develop emotional attachment to her products and her story. But how can you possibly build authentic community when you refuse to allow any actual communication? Industry insiders are pointing out that this comments-disabled strategy reveals something deeply concerning about Meghan's relationship with public feedback. Royal watchers suggest that she's so terrified of criticism, so unable to handle any negative response to her content, that she'd rather eliminate all interaction than risk seeing honest reactions to what she's posting. That's not the behavior of someone who's confident in their authenticity. That's the behavior of someone who knows their content can't withstand scrutiny. The business implications of this strategy are absolutely devastating when you really examine them. Sources in the marketing world are whispering that engagement rates are crucial for Instagram success, and comments are one of the primary ways the algorithm determines whether content is worth promoting to wider audiences. By disabling comments, Meghan is essentially sabotaging her own reach and limiting her brand's ability to grow organically on the platform. But what's even more revealing is how this approach contradicts everything that user-generated content is supposed to represent. The whole point of UGC is to create genuine dialogue between brands and their audiences, to showcase real customer experiences, to build trust through transparent interaction. You can't have authentic user-generated content when you're literally preventing users from generating any response to your content. Hollywood insiders are suggesting that this comment strategy exposes the fundamental flaw in Meghan's entire authenticity campaign. She wants to appear genuine and relatable, but she's not willing to engage in the genuine, uncontrolled interactions that actually create authentic relationships. She wants the appearance of community without any of the risks that come with real community building. Royal sources claim that Meghan justifies this approach by pointing to the harassment and negativity she's received in the past, but critics are arguing that if you can't handle public feedback, you probably shouldn't be trying to build a public-facing lifestyle brand. The disconnect between her goals and her methods is becoming impossible to ignore. But the most shocking revelation about her social media strategy involves how she's handling her biggest partnership opportunity. The most bewildering strategic blunder in Meghan Markle's entire Instagram approach has royal watchers completely baffled, and what industry insiders are revealing about her Netflix partnership promotion will leave you questioning whether anyone on her team understands basic business principles. We're talking about a decision so counterproductive that it's literally sabotaging her own brand's biggest opportunity for mainstream exposure. Here's the absolutely mind-boggling situation that has Hollywood insiders scratching their heads in confusion. Meghan Markle just dropped a Netflix trailer for her cooking show, which should be the perfect content to showcase American Riviera orchard products, demonstrate her lifestyle brand in action, and drive interest in her business ventures. But instead of posting this promotional goldmine on her American Riviera orchard Instagram account where it would directly benefit her brand, she only shared it on her personal Meghan account. Think about how backwards this strategy really is for a moment. Sources close to the entertainment industry are pointing out that this Netflix partnership represents the biggest mainstream platform Meghan has had in years to showcase her lifestyle brand. This cooking show is literally designed to demonstrate the products and aesthetic that American Riviera Orchard is supposed to represent. It's the perfect synergy between her entertainment career and her business ventures, and she's completely failing to capitalize on the cross-promotional opportunities. Royal watchers are discovering that this isn't just a simple oversight or innocent mistake. Industry insiders suggest that the decision to keep the Netflix content separate from the American Riviera Orchard account reveals some serious strategic confusion within Meghan's team. Either they don't understand how brand integration is supposed to work, or there are behind-the-scenes conflicts about how to manage her various public personas. But here's where this gets even more shocking and revealing about the dysfunction in her business approach. Sources in the lifestyle branding world are whispering that American Riviera Orchard desperately needs content that shows Meghan actually using her products, actually cooking with her ingredients, actually living the lifestyle that her brand is supposed to represent. The Netflix show trailer is literally exactly that type of content, and she's refusing to use it where it would have maximum impact for her business. Hollywood insiders are suggesting that this separation strategy might be intentional, designed to keep her entertainment career distinct from her business ventures in case one fails while the other succeeds. But royal watchers are pointing out that this approach completely undermines the entire premise of a lifestyle brand. The whole point of what Meghan is trying to build is that her personality, her lifestyle, and her products are all part of one integrated experience. Marketing experts who have analyzed this situation are revealing something absolutely devastating about what this strategy actually communicates to potential customers. When you refuse to promote your biggest content opportunity on your business account, you're essentially telling your audience that your entertainment work and your products exist in completely separate worlds. That destroys the aspirational lifestyle fantasy that luxury brands depend on for success. But the most shocking part of this entire promotional disaster is how it reveals the fundamental confusion at the heart of Meghan's brand strategy. Sources suggest that she still doesn't understand whether she's trying to be an entertainer, a businesswoman, or a lifestyle guru. And this indecision is sabotaging her success in all three areas. And the brand universe problems go even deeper than anyone realized. The brand universe confusion doesn't just stop at promotional strategy. It reveals something far more damaging about Meghan Markle's fundamental misunderstanding of how modern lifestyle brands actually function, and what industry insiders are discovering about her split social media presence is absolutely devastating for her business prospects. Here's what royal watchers have uncovered about the deeper implications of Meghan's schizophrenic approach to her online presence. When you examine successful lifestyle brands like Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop or Martha Stewart's Empire, you'll notice that the founder's personality and the brand identity are completely intertwined. The audience isn't just buying products, they're buying into a lifestyle, a set of values, an aspirational identity that the founder represents. But Meghan's approach completely fragments this essential connection. Sources in the luxury branding world are revealing something absolutely crucial that Meghan's team seems to have completely missed. When customers are considering purchasing lifestyle products, especially at premium price points, they want to see the founder actually living the lifestyle they're selling. They want behind-the-scenes glimpses, authentic moments, genuine integration between the person and the brand. But by keeping her Netflix content separate from American Riviera Orchard, Meghan is literally preventing potential customers from seeing her actually use her own products. But the strategic confusion goes even deeper than just content separation. Industry insiders are whispering that this split approach reveals that Meghan still doesn't understand what business she's actually in. Royal watchers suggest that she's trying to maintain some kind of artificial separation between her celebrity status and her business ventures, as if people are going to buy jam and cookies from some random entrepreneur rather than from Meghan Markle, the former royal. Hollywood sources are pointing out that this approach is particularly damaging because it wastes what should be her biggest competitive advantage. Meghan Markle doesn't have superior products, better recipes, or more innovative business practices than established lifestyle brands. What she has is celebrity, royal connection, and personal narrative. By refusing to fully integrate these assets into her business promotion, she's essentially throwing away the only things that differentiate her from thousands of other lifestyle entrepreneurs. Marketing experts who have analyzed this situation are revealing something even more shocking about the missed opportunities here. The Netflix show represents exactly the type of content that successful lifestyle brands spend millions trying to create. Professional quality video content showing the founder in beautiful settings, using premium products, living an aspirational lifestyle. This is marketing gold, and Meghan is refusing to use it where it would have maximum business impact. But royal insiders suggest that this brand separation strategy might actually be driven by something much more concerning than simple strategic confusion. Sources close to the situation are whispering that Meghan is so insecure about the quality and reception of her American Riviera Orchard content that she doesn't want her entertainment career to be associated with potential business failures. Think about how devastating that mentality is for a lifestyle brand. If the founder doesn't have enough confidence in their own products to fully promote them through their highest profile platform, why should customers have confidence in making purchases? The lack of integration doesn't just represent missed marketing opportunities, it communicates a fundamental lack of belief in the brand itself. But what sources are revealing about the real motivation behind this entire Instagram strategy exposes an even more desperate situation than anyone realized. The real story behind Meghan Markle's chaotic Instagram strategy isn't about building a lifestyle brand or connecting with fans, it's about something far more desperate, and Hollywood insiders are revealing details that expose just how precarious her entire media empire really is. What royal watchers have uncovered about her social media desperation will completely change how you view every single post, every carefully curated reel, and every strategic decision she's made over the past year. According to sources deep within the entertainment industry, Meghan's entire Instagram approach is actually a last-ditch effort to prove to Hollywood executives that she still has influence, that she can still drive engagement, and that she's still worth investing in for future projects. But here's the absolutely devastating part about this strategy. The metrics don't support the narrative she's trying to create, and industry insiders are starting to see through the manufactured engagement. Hollywood sources are whispering that Meghan's team has been desperately trying to boost her social media numbers to make her appear more valuable for potential partnerships, streaming deals, and endorsement opportunities. The constant stream of American Riviera Orchard content isn't just about selling jam and cookies, it's about creating the appearance of sustained public interest and engagement that she can present to entertainment executives executives as proof of her continued marketability. But royal watchers who have analyzed her actual engagement patterns are discovering something absolutely shocking about the reality behind these numbers. Sources suggest that despite the constant content posting, despite the professional quality reels, despite the carefully orchestrated authenticity campaign, Meghan's actual influence and reach are nowhere near what they need to be for the level of Hollywood relevance she's desperately trying to maintain. Industry insiders are revealing that this Instagram strategy is particularly crucial for Meghan because her other media ventures haven't delivered the massive success that was promised when she and Harry first left royal life. The Spotify deal collapsed, the Netflix partnership has produced mixed results, and her attempts to establish herself as a major Hollywood player have consistently fallen short of expectations. So now, sources suggest, her social media presence has become her primary tool for demonstrating ongoing relevance and influence. But what makes this situation even more desperate is how transparent the strategy has become to industry professionals. Marketing experts who work with A-list celebrities are pointing out that Meghan's content approach looks more like someone trying to convince people they're successful, rather than someone who actually is successful. The overproduction, the constant posting, the manufactured authenticity, all of these elements suggest someone who's trying too hard to prove something rather than someone who's confident in their actual influence. Royal sources are suggesting that this desperate grab for social media relevance is actually backfiring in Hollywood circles. When entertainment executives see someone posting constantly, trying multiple different content strategies, and clearly struggling to find authentic engagement, it doesn't signal opportunity, it signals desperation. And desperation, according to industry insiders, is not an attractive quality when it comes to major media investments. But perhaps the most shocking revelation from sources close to the situation is that Meghan apparently believes this Instagram strategy is actually working. Word on the street suggests that she's convinced that increased posting frequency equals increased influence, and that manufactured engagement can somehow translate into real Hollywood power. The delusion runs deeper than anyone imagined, and what's coming next will determine whether this entire social media gambit pays off or completely destroys what's left of her media credibility. The future of Meghan Markle's Instagram empire is looking more precarious by the day, and what royal insiders are predicting about the inevitable collapse of this manufactured authenticity campaign will leave you absolutely stunned. We're talking about a social media strategy so fundamentally flawed that industry experts are already placing bets on how spectacularly it's going to implode, and the behind-the-scenes panic is apparently reaching crisis levels. Here's what sources close to the Sussex camp are whispering about the sustainability of this entire approach. The constant content creation, the professional production costs, the PR firm management fees, all of this is requiring massive ongoing investment with virtually no return on investment. Royal watchers who have analyzed American Riviera Orchard's actual business performance are suggesting that the Instagram strategy is costing far more than it's generating in actual sales or meaningful engagement. But the most devastating prediction from industry insiders involves what happens when the authenticity facade finally crumbles completely. Sources in the entertainment world are suggesting that Meghan's manufactured approach to social media is creating a house of cards that becomes more unstable with every post. Eventually, according to marketing experts, audiences always see through inauthentic content strategies, and when they do, the backlash is typically far more damaging than the original problems the strategy was designed to solve. Hollywood insiders are revealing something absolutely shocking about the timeline for this collapse. According to sources who track social media trends and audience behavior, manufactured engagement campaigns typically have a lifespan of 6 to 12 months before audiences start noticing the patterns and becoming suspicious of the content. Royal watchers suggest that Meghan is already approaching that danger zone, and the recent failures like the bug incident and fan editing attempts are early warning signs of much bigger problems coming. But what's even more concerning for Meghan's future prospects is how this Instagram strategy failure could impact her other media ventures. Industry sources are whispering that streaming platforms, publishers, and potential business partners are all watching her social media performance as an indicator of her overall market appeal. If her carefully orchestrated Instagram campaign can't generate genuine engagement and sustainable audience growth, what does that say about her ability to deliver audiences for other projects? Royal insiders are suggesting that the most dangerous aspect of this entire situation is Meghan's apparent inability to recognize that the strategy isn't working. Sources claim that she's so invested in proving that she can build a successful lifestyle brand that she's refusing to acknowledge the mounting evidence that her approach is fundamentally flawed. This kind of strategic blindness, according to business experts, typically leads to even more desperate measures and increasingly obvious attempts to manufacture success. But But perhaps the most shocking prediction from sources close to the situation involves what happens to Meghan's credibility when this Instagram house of cards finally falls. Marketing experts are suggesting that when audiences realize they've been subjected to a calculated manipulation campaign disguised as authenticity, the reputational damage could be irreversible. We're talking about someone who already struggles with credibility issues, potentially destroying what little public trust remains. The writing is already on the wall, according to royal watchers, and the next few months will determine whether Meghan can pivot away from this failing strategy, or whether she'll double down and make the inevitable crash even more spectacular. So what do you think? Is Meghan's Instagram authenticity campaign doomed to fail, or could she somehow turn this manufactured strategy into genuine success? Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next video is waiting, and you won't believe what's coming next.